everybody, it's Jules, and I just wanted to share with you a recent thrift store haul that I made because I found some beautiful botanical items, books and items. So I thought I'd share with you. This one is called a book called Wildflower Portraits by Eloise Reed Thompson. I paid $15 for it, but that's what the book originally cost, was $15. And but I looked online on Amazon and you can't find this anymore. Well, actually you can find used copies, but they're in the nature of $40 and $50. So I was really excited to find this. It's in really good shape. It has this dust cover. Look at this image here on the front. It's really beautiful. So I thought I'd show you the inside of it quickly. This book looks like it has hardly been used at all. And in fact, when you move through the book, the paper still kind of crackles because it hasn't been used in quite some time. So just beautiful. This is just a book of someone's watercolor paintings. I love this quote, "To the man who makes his wife paint." And that's a really cool dedication that she made. This book was written in 1964, or rather published in 1964. So this is someone who did watercoloring and published her work. And put it this way for just a second. And so it has these beautiful wildflower plates. And so on the left-hand page, it has a little bit about the plant. And then, of course, on the right-hand side, it has the watercolor paintings. So this one is Jack in the Pulpit, and then the watercolor painting. These are just beautiful. This is really nice, heavy paper. I seriously doubt that I will do anything with this book other than just keep it on my shelf because it is so beautiful. I would never cut up a book like this because it's just too beautiful. And I only really cut up books that most of the books that I get are from thrift stores, and if they're oh, there you go. See, there was one that was kind of stuck together. If they're falling apart, if they're discards from a library or a bookstore, a thrift store, if they're really old. So I'll show you in a minute. Two that I found in this thrift store haul. There is one that I will deconstruct and use for a journal. But this is just a beautiful book. It's a tulip tree, sand verbena. Beautiful, beautiful prints. A bee plant. Isn't that gorgeous? I will use this book for inspiration in my own drawing. I love to draw flowers. I'm not very good at it, which is why I'm into junk journaling, because I'm not that great at drawing. But oh, there we go. There's the bluebonnet. That's the Texas state flower. These are just gorgeous. Wild blue violet, a Texas prickly pear, a rainbow cactus, devil's pincushion, pink evening primrose. That's a wildflower that grows quite frequently in Texas along the roadsides. I think this person must have been from Texas because a lot of these pictures, a lot of these flowers do grow in Texas. So this says the large showy flowers grow on dry beaches and sand dunes like those found on Padre Island on the Texas coast. False purple thistle. This one definitely grows a lot in Texas. And here she says it grows in dry soil of the blackland prairies of central Texas and northward. These are gorgeous flowers if you can catch them when they're blooming. Flowering dogwood, those grow in East Texas. A pink azalea, also an East Texas flower. Shooting star, Carolina jasmine. Oh, those smell so wonderful. Indian pink, meadow pink, marsh pink. So I won't go through the whole thing, but wasn't this the find? This really made my day to find this book. Great coneflower, that's so pretty. So I'll have fun looking through those. Here's a little sticker. It says Brown Bookshop in Houston, Texas. And I also wanted to show you the ephemera that was in the front. Let's see if I can find it. Here it is right here. This little card. Isn't that cute? It says 12/25/64. So this was obviously a Christmas present. And it says, with love and best wishes for a truly Merry Christmas. I love finding ephemera in old books. So there's that one. And then, let me set this aside. And these are the two that I found that are of the same book. The Reader's Digest Complete Book of the Garden. These are the same book. However, this one, which is in better shape, is the original from 1966. And this one is a reprint from a third printing from 1968. And so these are beautiful books. And actually, I've seen these quite a bit in thrift stores, so they must have sold quite a lot of them. It must have been a really popular book. This one looks like it has hardly been used. I think it's probably a book that someone got and put on the bookshelf and never looked at it, which is a shame. Since I have two of these, I'll be keeping this one, putting it on my bookshelf, and will definitely use it as a reference. We'll be keeping that one. But this one has seen better days. This one has been well loved, repaired. It fell apart, has been repaired just with plastic tape. It's not even fancy book tape. It's just someone put tape on it to keep it together. But this book, if you can find one, if you're into botanical prints for your junk journals, it has some really pretty vintage pictures in it. The paper is really nice. It's a little bit heavier for a Reader's Digest book. Some of the Reader's Digest books have really thin paper. This one is a little bit better. But look at the pretty floral pictures and pastel colors. And there aren't a lot of them in the book. They're scattered. There are these as well, which would be really pretty on a tag. And of course the text, but then scattered throughout the book. Well, I just saw one and I passed it up. There, isn't that pretty? That would be beautiful as a large tag. And let's see. Brown turkey figs is what that says. Has vegetables as well as botanical drawings. It is just a general garden book. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? pretty? So I'll have a lot of use for this one. I definitely have a gardening junk journal book that I'm working on, and so a lot of the images and pages from this book will be used for that journal that you'll see at some point in a later video from me. So that's an example of two books, one that I'll keep and one that I will cut up. And now let's look at the binding on this. Yes, it looks like this was just glued. So at some point, Reader's Digest changed from using a sewn binding to using glued binding. So this would not be a good prospect for an altered junk journal where you're using the original book, because the glue binding will fall apart at some point. So that's that one. And then let me show you this. Isn't this just the coolest thing ever? It's like, it kind of reminds me of a color wheel. Let me pull one off of my shelf here with my chair that makes a lot of noise. So, so here's an example of a color wheel. And so that's what this reminds me of. But isn't it cool? So you rotate it, and then it gives you the name of a flower. Like this one is called a balloon flower. It gives you the formal horticultural name, the height, the best uses, sunshade, peak bloom space, and so on. And so it has all these flowers. And then it has it on the back as well. So I just thought that was the coolest thing. I paid 50 cents for this. And it's in pretty good shape, so that's going in my garden journal as well. I have no idea what date when this was published or how it came about. It does have a little hole punched here on the top. See right there? So maybe it was sold individually at a garden store. All right, this is my next find, and it's not necessarily a garden book. It's actually a friendship book. But I love this cover. Isn't that beautiful? So pretty and spring-like. And isn't that pretty paper? This is in pretty good shape. This was a gift to someone, to Phyllis from Mary someone. I can't read it out. Can't read it. But look at that. Isn't that beautiful? That's just going to be beautiful ephemera. Hallmark edition, so this must have been a Hallmark booklet from 1967. So this was someone's gift to a friend, and it just has these beautiful, sweet images in it. Flowers, very bright and colorful. It also has some really pretty quotes and poems in it. And so this book I definitely will cut up. It also has, look at this. This is a good example of the sewn binding. So it might be a good prospect for an altered journal where I'll use a lot of the original pages and images. So very, very cute. I have no issues with cutting up a book like this because this book has basically already served its purpose. It was given to a friend who hopefully enjoyed it. But I'd like to give it another life now as a junk journal. You could leave this here, or you could put something here on the front of it to decorate it. So I'm really excited about this little book. I'm going to have fun with that. And then finally, my last book to share with you is this one. So I live in New Mexico now, and quite often go to Colorado. And so this is a little book about wildflowers that you'd find in the Rocky Mountains. So anytime I go to a thrift store, I'm constantly looking for these books on flowers and birds, mainly wildflowers and birds from local areas. And they will have beautiful images in them. So again, I don't have any issues with cutting this book up because it is outdated. So as a reference book, it has served its purpose. It looks like it was used, so that always makes me happy. And let's see when it was published. Let's see. I found the date earlier. Okay, so 1971. So it's considered vintage, but it's not that old. But still, this is a really cool book. Yes, you can see that it's been used because it has dirt inside of it. So someone had this on the trail with them. So here's an example of the pictures that are in it. Colored images, non-glossy, which is nice. That's what I like to have, is a non-glossy image. And so every other page is an image. And so these are great when you're at thrift stores. These are wonderful to look for because you quite frequently can find them for wildflowers and for birds. And so I have a ton of these. And so this is an example of one. I think I paid $2 for this. And this will give me a lot of materials for making tags for a garden or a botanical, or just generally any journal that you want floral images in. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a wonderful day.